Hi, this is Sean Costello from Valhalla DSP. I'm at Don Gunn's studio here in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Today I'm here to demonstrate my new cartridge for the Z-DSP Eurorack module from Tiptop Audio. The cartridge is called the Halls of Valhalla, and it contains 8 reverbs that have been tailored towards electronic music. So the cartridge looks like this, except for it'll have my name on it when it's released. Put it down. Wait for it to boot up. The Halls of Valhalla reverbs are ordered by size from smallest to largest. The reverbs cover standard reverb sizes, from rooms, chambers, plates, up to cathedrals, as well as huge and unnatural spaces. I had to go to Norse mythology to find names for the biggest algorithms. Let's get to it. I'm going to start off by demonstrating the room algorithm. The first knob controls the reverb decay. The minimum decay is different for each algorithm. You can see room is very short, chambers is 2, plates longer, EnsembleVerb's longer, cathedral's kind of strange, and then you get to the Norse ones, which are much longer. So as you adjust the decay time, the first half of the knob travel usually covers just normal decays. That's still a pretty big room, of course. Then you get into much larger spaces. The tone control controls the damping in the algorithm both when it first plays and as it decays over time. Now the chorus knob brings in a lot of the modulation that I've used in my earlier plugins. So as you can see here, without the chorus, it's kind of an old school, maybe late 80s, early 90s budget reverb. That's a cool sound, it has its places. However, bring the chorus control and things start getting much more lush. The chamber works the same way. It's somewhat less lush than the room, but it starts off, it has more of a just rich sound on its own, and a very natural build between short and long. Bring the chorus in, and the sounds just sort of hang there in space. Plate is not really a physical plate. It's just what I call a digital plate. Digital plates tend to be bright, very dense echo density, and lush. This one can get a little bit of seasick modulation, where the pitch modulation goes up and down in some strange ways. Let's demonstrate that. I think that has its place. The next one was designed to have none of that. This modulation is much more like a classic string ensemble. In fact, if you go to 100% wet, oh, it looks like we're at 100% wet. You can hear the decay, but 100% wet. Adjust the decay time a little bit. And it can sound a lot like a classic ARP Solina or ARP Omni, some sort of the old school 70s string ensemble. Cathedral has been designed to let the sound just sort of hang there in space. At shortest settings, it actually sounds very modulated. but you can get sounds that just sort of gradually just sit there and decay slowly. And as I say, it's just like there's this kind in a cathedral, things just sort of hang there. This is with a very slow modulation rate. Turn up the modulation and you get more of that vibrato-y sound. That's not really part of a cathedral in itself, but you can almost imagine a choir singing a cathedral, and you can get some sounds kind of like that. Especially if you have resonant filters that can get you vocal sounds. Anyway, now we start getting into the Norse-themed reverb algorithms. These tend to be bigger, like they start big. Here's Niflheim, and anyone who actually speaks Scandinavian languages, forgive me for how I'm undoubtedly mangling these words, but Niflheim starts off with a fairly long decay. And it just gets longer. One thing about the reverbs in the Halls of Valhalla is that they can get to pretty much infinite decay. It's not exactly infinite because there's some loss inherent in the algorithms in the modulation that keeps them from going away, like going for all time. But they can go for a minute or two. The next algorithm is Asgard. Asgard starts off really long and really modulated. And it gets longer and more modulated still. That would go on for a while. The final algorithm is called Ginnungagap. As I said, I don't really know how to pronounce these words. These are things I've read as opposed to heard. But anyway, this is one that's closest to the older Bloom algorithms in that the attack is very long. That's with like the mix of 50%. You can hear it at 100%. Just for reference, this was that sound. This one is a lot like Asgard in that it's very long and just gets longer. Well, I think that provides a pretty good overview of what the Halls of Valhalla can do. I hope to have this out in the next month or so. The Tiptop Audio folks will be demoing it at NAMM in a few weeks. All right, well, thank you very much for your time. Sean Costello with Don Gunn here. Thanks a lot.